He still wants to take the stand, even though my advice is at this point, you should never take the stand with a gag order. But he is so firmly against what is happening in this court and so firmly for the old America that we know, not this America, that he will take that stand on Monday. He will open himself up to whatever they want because he's not afraid. People that are afraid cower. President Trump doesn't cower.
That is Alina Habba a few days ago with a strong message about Donald Trump, and he's going to testify in that fraud trial. She doesn't even want him to. It's too dangerous, but he's that brave. Because you see, people who are afraid, cowards, yellow-bellied cravens, cower away, but not him. He's brave. He goes right at that thing and he testifies. Except that he's not actually going to testify. He announced, no, he changed his mind. He's not going to be doing it. But wait a second. If I understand how logic works, wouldn't that mean that he's now the coward? Well, of course, they're not going to actually cop to that. But I think you can draw your own conclusions about what it means that Donald Trump is not going to be testifying. We're going to try to learn a little bit about his decision from his recent posts on Truth Social. Oh, no. Here's the first. And I will say that, no, I'm not, no.
But can we just page 1, colon.
So much.
Statement of 45th President Donald Trump.
As everyone knows.
Bullet point 1, Roman numeral. How do you do Roman numerals? V1, sure. Just page 1. Dude,
it's too much.
Signed Donald Trump. I love how he tweets the way our parents text.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
it's too much. That is all caps. And it's so many words. It's all of the words. And then if we could bring up that first one again, as bad as all of that is, how does that end with a ... You didn't get across everything that you need to say in that thing.
He said page
That's
1.
More words than I've ever said. Anyway, I don't care. Blah, 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 be successful business, blah, blah, real estate, blah, blah. Let's go to the second one because there is at least something that's legitimately hilarious in this equally long, brain-burningly stupid comment. They claim that Mar-a-Lago is worth only $18 million when it is worth 50 to 100 times that amount. 100 times that amount?
Yes.
I'm not a mathematician or anything, but that's too much money, I think. You know what? I don't like to get out over my skis on the facts, but I don't think it's worth 100 times $18 million. That seems like too much.
This broke when you were on leave, John, and I think I did the math live on air, which is big for me, I want you to know. And it was about 100 times, and we were like, what? What are you kidding me? I think he said it was worth 1.8 billion, right? Which if that makes sense. But I'm like, no, there's no way this piece of property, especially, I don't know, maybe when you turn it into a cemetery as he did with his ex-wife, burying her there, maybe it ups the value, not sure. At least tax write-off, that's why he buried her there. That there's special privileges when there's an actual cadaver on, it's not the first cadaver at Mar-a-Lago, let's be real. But it's not definitely one of, anyway.
Yeah, also, by the way, I don't know if you are allowed to continue to add into the appraisal the value of all of the incredibly sensitive government documents now that they've been taken back from you. You have to deduct that now. It's not an asset. But anyway, it ends with I will not be testifying on Monday. MAGA. So there's just a lot there. Look, I'm sure there are good legal reasons that he does not want to testify. After all, Alina Habba did say she didn't want him to testify, and she is technically a lawyer. So I don't know that it would be a good call. And by the way, remember, he has already testified once. Now, he didn't answer many of the questions. He mostly used it as an opportunity to do the exact same thing that you just saw in there, which is to, attack the attorney general, attack the judge, attack the lawyers, attack the aides, attack. And occasionally say something that's incredibly damning about the effect the oversight that you had on valuations of the Trump organization. It is believed that in this particular case, his own lawyers or his own attorneys were going to be leading the questioning. So in theory, he would have done better. But I also think that Alina Habba might have been projecting that she doesn't have confidence that he wouldn't like damn himself even in response to her own questions. So he seems insane here, but probably a good call legally for him from my non-lawyer position. What do you think?
Yeah, you can sort of hear her kind of like shudder as she says that, because he's not afraid. I am, however, I'm desperately afraid. I don't even know if I'm going to get paid for this. I mean, that's the other thing. Like, if you're a lawyer for Trump at this point, you truly need him to shut the F up. Like, you just need him to stop, because you will not be paid the more and more he like is running his mouth, and he's going to be docked this amount, right? Or so it's just like, again, 250 million is already on the line here. He can only make it worse. She probably wants to help him make it better. And yeah, it's good that he's not testifying. I can't believe, out of all these criminal lawsuits hanging over him, I mean, this is not one of them, but that he's still allowed to run his mouth the way he is. She sort of alluded to the fact that it would be bad for him to testify, even as she said it would be brave, because she said there's a gag order on him, right? So
well, and Chris Kais said he referenced that too, the unconstitutional gag order. Why is it unconstitutional? He's not the first gag order that has ever existed, and I don't know if anyone has ever done more to justify it, not just prior to the gag order, but since the gag order. He constantly is attacking this very specific people that he is not supposed to attack. He was supposed to take down his comments about one of these attorneys, and they're still up there. I don't even know legally how that works. I mean, I get that he's effectively playing chicken with the judge and with the judicial system, but he seems to be winning because they don't seem to want to go any further than this. And
it doesn't bode well either, John. Yeah, and I mean, to say nothing of what he said about Letitia James, right? Who, again, the trial is, now not in her hands anymore, but again, you just think like the fact that they've been soft pedaling on this gag order, on the things that he said during this trial, makes you realize that, yeah, push comes to shove, whether it's this case or other charges, if he is convicted of them, how much soft pedaling is going to happen when it comes to holding him accountable? He's never going to see the inside of a prison cell. Of course not. He might not even be held on house arrest. Like this is the kind of thing where it's like, no matter what, there's a two-tier justice system. Trump proves that every single day, that he is allowed to continue to run his mouth, incite violence against the very people that if this were any other defendant, are you kidding me? They would be held, they would be detained right now, but not him. So
I'm so glad that you mentioned that, because this is like, there is so much about our reality that does not make any sense, that in fact makes the exact opposite of sense. Like, so for instance, everything that Elon Musk says that proves that he's an idiot, an incurious moron, to millions of Americans proves that he is a genius. In this particular case, all of the things that Donald Trump says prove that everything is aligned against him. The judicial system is set up specifically to target him and only him. All of it proves how he is singularly protected from the consequences that would be levied against any other person in America. But millions of Americans don't see that. In fact, they just see what he says, even though the evidence in front of their eyes is that everyone else would be locked up and he is not. So it's frustrating.